Hello everyone, we will start to explain Civil 3D or Autodesk Civil 3D. You can download the version from Autodesk by using your email or your educational email to get a free license or educational license for a specific time, for example, 3 months or 6 months, and you can renew it if the license is expired. Autodesk allow to renew. So in the beginning, let's see, this is Civil 3D 2025, and now 2026. It is also available, but not uh, different. It's just very light difference between the two versions. So let's see what the interface at the beginning. We can see here, this is an interface for Civil 3D. As you see, we have the title bar and we have some tabs. This is not menu bar to show, sorry, this is yes, menu bar, but sometimes it's not, you cannot see it. You can go to this icon, excuse me, okay, here, with this icon, and see Civil 3D, and you will see this one, it will be show menu bar, not hide. For example, here I hide it. Now I cannot see. Sometimes when you open, you cannot see the menu bar. So going to the same icon and show menu bar. Now it's normal one. We, for example, file, edit, view, insert. This is almost in all software, and each one giving impression about what it's doing. For example, file, you can make a new file or new project, open an existing file you already did before, or someone sharing with you, close, save, and save as for different format, import, export, and plotting or printing is from here. Okay, edit, as all of us know, for example, you want to cut something or copy something or paste, and paste spatial or something like that, or also select or deselect view for many items based on the view, for example, 3D view, orbit view to see in 3D or something like that, zooming to zoom in, out, or zoom window. And also most of the order here or commands has also shortcut. It's very close to AutoCAD. If you have an experience with AutoCAD, you will use the same commands in Civil 3D. Okay, let's know what the interface already consists of. We see this is a very important one. It's a tool space. Tool space consists of four tabs. The first one and the most important one is prospector. The prospector is it's like the center or control center for the project and data in your Civil 3D. For example, here the drawing you want to control in everything. For example, points, point group. This is dealing with points. Then we will learn about surface. So surface need points or need another feature to create surfaces. And then you can also create alignment, okay, and many application related, for example, here corridor, assembly or section and cross section, intersection for between roads. Many things you can control here from using the prospector. The setting, if you tap or press on the second tab, is setting, is controlling on the setting itself. for the project and other items related to Civil 3D. For example, if you wanted to change the coordinate system, you can press right click here to change the coordinate system for this drawing or this project. You can go and see the units. For example, here units and zone. Units here in meter, you can change in feet. Okay, scale, degree for the angular units. You can change it to grade or radian. Okay. If you want to change the coordinate system, here you can see categories there and available coordinate system. So try to see the no data, no projection is a default. But if you need a specific zone, you can go here from categories, choose what you want for a local or a global. You can find here is local coordinate systems, and you can choose from them depending on the area. And for the global coordinate system, we can choose UTM, okay, Universal Transverse Mercator, WGS 84 datum, okay, and you can choose the zone of the area. For example, here, if you're working on Egypt, for example, it will be zone north, 36 north here. Okay, you can choose this one. If you are working in, or for example, in UAE, it will be zone 40 north. Here you can see WGS 84, zone 40 north. You can choose it. Now you have a global coordinate system based on the zone area for UAE. Okay, you can make apply to save or to see the changes. Okay, and okay if you want to save the changes and exit from the order. Okay, so here is a survey also based on some tools of survey and tool specs for reports. And if you export reports after calculation, something like surface or um, cut and fill earthworks, you can get the report from this part. Okay, so let's go to the control center again. It's prospector. Okay, and see what we can do next. Here, this is the tool space. If you press on it, it will hide tool space. Okay, you can return it back by press again. Here is the tabs. Everyone now is active, but you can, if you press here, you can hide it. Okay, press again to return the tabs. Okay, and here is prospector also. Okay, so what else we can do here? You can see this is the menu bar as we mentioned. Under the menu bar we have panel, and each panel have some ribbons here. You can see here is panel and ribbon is like a shortcut to the specific commands if you want to get them easily. Okay, like you see, Microsoft Office now has the same panel style, and most of the software have panel and ribbon style. Okay, the good thing also, if you have Civil 3D, you don't need to install AutoCAD. For example, here, for going to this setting, you can see we are in Civil 3D. You can change to AutoCAD or change to AutoCAD 3D. For example, here you can see the interface will be changed. Now you have AutoCAD 2025. Okay, you want to return again to the interface of Civil, going again for setting here. and choose or activate Civil 3D. Okay, now you cannot see the menu bar. Show it again by going to Civil 3D here and show menu bar because you will need it during your. Okay, so we will start to create points and see the different method to create points in Civil 3D. Let's see here, going for points. Here we have different method to create points, okay? But I will work on this one. For example, create points miscellaneous with different method. You can create it manually based on northing, easting, the coordinates. If you have bearing or azimuth, okay, angle or deflection angle, we have many methods to create points. I will take some example. For example, if I want to create it manually, okay, now focus on the command line. Command line is like a dialogue between you and the software. Here, the command line tell you that create a point manual. You can specify, please specify point. You choose the point, and then it tell you to enter point description. Description is like a code for the point. For example, if this point is like a road or tree or something like that, you import or enter the code of this point, or you can make enter. It will skip it, give you, ask you about the elevation of the point. Okay. For example, I have elevation 100. Enter. Now the point is created. Can you see it? Here we can make zoom, scroll. Okay. This is the point or the first point I create. Okay. You have the same command is still going. Specify the point. You can specify another point. He's asking you about description. You can change the description if you want. For example, BLD, enter. Ask about elevation. I tell him elevation is 0, enter. So you can create many points like this method. Okay. If you know the location of the point, you can did it manually. Okay. Let's go to the second method to create points. Here, create point miscellaneous. You will create it based on northing and easting. Okay, so you know the coordinates of this point. The northing is starting. You can see enter northing. For example, I give northing maybe 5,000. Okay, for northing, I press enter, and then for easting, for example, it will be 2,000. Okay, and press enter, asking you about the description of the point. For example, it's like tree, okay, TR for tree, or any description you want, but you have to make them unique for all feature. Enter and asking me about elevation. I tell him, for example, 10. Okay, enter. Now the point already is created, but you cannot see it because you are standing on another point, not on the same. For example, here, you are in another coordinate area. So let's say, here you can see we're going for zoom extent here. Okay, zoom extent or Z enter A enter for a shortcut for zoom extent. Now you see this zoom extent give you all the features or points you created. Okay. So you can see here is the points we created, the first two 3 points, and here is the new point. If you're going, it will be give you the coordinate of it. Let's go to this point. For example, you can ban or you get banned from here. You can move by ban or using scroll to see the point. You can see the point. I get the code is TR. Is get make it like a tree because this is the code of tree in the civil. Here is 10 points, 10 elevation, and the point name is 3. Okay. So if I create another point with the same method, for example here, points by miscellaneous, northing and easting, okay, give, for example, some coordinate close to this point, for example, 5,005 and, okay, 2005, for example. You will see what is the description asking you. Okay, tree again, enter, and elevation, for example, 20, enter. You can see the new point is already created. So this is the second method to create points by coordinates. If you know the coordinates of the point, you can enter them and take care about is asking about northing first and then easting. So what else we can learn from the point here? We can see if you have bearing or azimuth or angle, you can draw the points based on these. Okay. So something is a very important thing here. We want, you can see in the tool space, all points is already going to the points, and this is the point group. What is the point group? If you didn't create any point group, all the point you have, it will going to all points. But sometimes you have different point groups, some groups for a specific job, another group for a specific job. So you want to create like a space or a store data for points. Here you can how to create a point group. You can go to point group, make right click, then new. Press new, it will be open window with you. This is group name. If you didn't change, it will be point to group 1. You can change it. For example, I want all tree in this group. I want building in this group. I want roads in this group and so on. But if you didn't change, it will be like point to group 1. Here is the point style. Okay, what is the point style? For example, here, the point style is a green tree you can see. You can use the basic, it will be the like cross thread. You see already in the first 3 point we created. Here is if you wanted to change it to benchmark, bound, and so on. Let's see in some point, for example, here, create the point we created and see what will it change when we change the point style. Let's see, this is the 3 point are created. Here is the basic picture. Let's see here all points. Right click, okay, and this is the point style. To know what is the point style, this is the basic one. Okay, I want to change it, for example, benchmark, and press apply to see. Here is apply. This is a benchmark. You want to change its style, for example, catch bezel, apply. Okay, another point style, horizontal curve points. Okay, this is the style of the point. You have many styles here. For example, this is the tree you remember already. Okay, here utility pole. Okay, So the different style you can see. What is the second one is label. What is the label? Is the text beside the point. For example, here, non-label, you didn't show any label. For example, here, I want to add description only. You know already about the description, for example, road or building. No, I don't. I want elevation with description to add elevation with it. Here is elevation is 0 with building, 100 with road or R. No, I want to change for northing and easting. Give me the coordinates. Look, change the coordinate here. Okay, you can point and description. This is point number and description. You can change and see the point and description. Okay. So here you can change the point style, and there you can change the point label. Okay, if you make okay, it will be safe for that. But this is for all points. So all points here, it will follow the same. No, I wanted to make a group and change for a specific group. Okay, sorry. You will go to all points here. Sorry, come. If you open that, close it, like tree view here, you can make new, okay, create new group, for example, point to group 2, and say, okay. So if you open that, we have already the point to group 2, or you can create another group or third group. Let's change name to see what will happen. For example, here is a group, I will change it, for example, BLD or building. Okay. You can see that you have the point to group 2 and building. Okay. So you can activate some points or transfer some point or import some point to a specific group. And every group you can handle it based on the point style you want and the label you want. Okay. Okay. I will open a new project to import some points or remove the old one. Okay, so new, we have Imperial and metric. We are working on metric civil 3D. Okay. Now you have a fresh project without any editing or setting. So you already know about setting. You can change coordinates, and here is the prospector. Let's go on. So I want to import some point. I collected some point by GPS or by total station. I want to import them as the points and see how to use them in front of me in civil and so on. For example, here, point, okay, going to import, export points. I will import, so I need points. The Civil 3D have tutorial points in this path. In the Civil tutorial, you can find them here in program files, Autodesk, AutoCAD 2025, Civil 3D, help Civil tutorials, okay? Or search on your computer after you installing the software, you can find EG surface, okay, or existing set. Both files are very helpful to learn and working on them. But you have to take care about something. Look at here. Is still you EG, for example, existing ground surface, okay? This is abbreviation for existing ground. You can see existing ground here as a full word. So what the order of the point, you can see BENZD. What is that meaning? B is for point, E for easting, then northing, elevation, and description. This is the order for the point here of this file. And here you can see the space delimited, that meaning every information from there has a space delimited. This is important to tell the Civil 3D what is the format of the point, because it will affect the data if you didn't align with the correct format. Let's see what happened if you didn't. So the point here, you can, for example, here, I want to open the file, open, not on Civil, I just open as a text file. Okay, I'm not sure it will be in front of you. Let me share it, stop share. Okay, and share this file again. Okay, here's a file I opened. As you see, here is point name. Here is easting, then northing, elevation, and description if has it will be here. Okay. The second one same number point of two, easting, northing, elevation, and description if here. Okay. So you have to tell the Civil 3D this is the right format to open the data. Open the data correctly. Let's see how to make it in Civil 3D. I return back again to Civil. Okay. So let's open the data. Okay. Now you read the path for the data. Okay. And look at this. Specify point file format. Here is northing, easting, elevation. Is it the correct one? No. Look at here. He read northing, then easting, then elevation. Look, northing, he takes the point number. He follow the order. You tell him the first column is northing, he takes the first column as north. Second column is easting, he takes the second column is east. So if you import the point like this, it will be wrong. So what is the correct one? Here you can see different formats and you can choose the correct one. For example, here, point, sorry, point, easting, northing, elevation, description is space delimited. Now, after you press them, it's going to be correct. Okay. If you have groups, you can add point to a specific group, but I didn't create the group in the new project, so I cannot. For here, you will press, and now you can see, oh, if you have group, you import directly to a specific group. But I didn't create groups in the second project, okay? Later you can do it. So here you can see, I tell you, add points to point group. We already do elevation adjustment if possible. Coordinate transformation, don't change the coordinate because no need. And use if you want to transform the coordinate, it is better to use a professional software for this, not a Civil 3D for this part, because it's not, you don't know uh, the parameter for transformation. Also, it's not the story or for the scope of this session, but just for your information. Okay, let's go, press OK. Now the point is already imported, but you cannot see them, right? Why? Because you are stand on another area or another coordinate. So how to go? You can go by here by zoom extend, or you press Z, enter, A, enter, okay, or double click by crossing. You can see the points here. Double click by crossing. These points here. If you make this is many points you already import them, you can do the same as we mentioned before. For example, if you remember the point style, properties, and the point label, you can, if you want to change. But we want to go to the next step. What is the next step? After you have already the points, if you want, for example, to delete a specific point, you can choose the point and delete it. If you add another point, you can add, draw some points, you can. So this is, for example, if you want to delete this one, you can press delete. Okay, now it's deleted. For example, here, you want to delete, press or select and then delete. Okay. So the next step is how to use these points to create a surface. Okay, let's create a surface. Look, you can create surface from here. This is points, and the next one is surface. You can go and create surface. Okay, or you're going to the center of the data or control center of the data, going for surfaces. Look at here, you don't have any surface right now. Look, I want your eye be in this part. You can go right click, create surface. Okay. He asking you, what is the name of the surface? For example, I will call it EG as existing ground. Description, if you wanted to add description. Here is the style of contour, for example, the contour, background, the major and the minor contour. You can also change if you want. Here, the different contour style, you can use of them. Use the specific one you want. I will speak about this in details later in the part of contour. Okay, but let's go to create surface. Okay, let's see. Here is the method to create surface. For example, here using TIN is a very famous one, triangle irregular network, is interpolation method to create the surfaces. Great surface, great volume, and 10. So I will press click now, and then look at here. You will see like a 3 view or plus here. Look, now it's changing. You have already created a surface. You create a location or a store for the surface, but you didn't define the surface yet. So what's the meaning of surface? I didn't define the surface, okay? Just to make a store for the surface, okay? I want you to look here. If I stand for a specific point here, what you can see, okay, just press on the mouse, stand with the mouse here, you can see number of the point, layer, easting, northing, elevation, and the layer for a specific point. If you're going to the second point, okay, you have easting, northing, elevation, and so on. But if you stand here for a place with no points, you cannot see any information. So what the surface will do? The surface will help you to create the relation between the points. So create the relation between the points here based on the interpolation and give you the information of the missing parts or the gap area. So every point on the surface, if you stand here after creating surface, you will see the elevation for that point. Okay. If you're going to there with gap area or points, areas without points, you will know about the elevation if you stand like that. Let's see what the surface can make a model for the surface based on the information from data and using the interpolation technique, TIN, as a check. So what we want to do now, this is the surface, and we want to define the surface. How to define? If you press here, you can see definition. Definition for the surface, we have different method to define the surface. For example, here, if you have boundaries, you can break lines, also contour, you can define based on the contour. You can define based on digital elevation model files. Okay, but I want here is point file or point group. What is the difference? We have two kind. The point file, if you will define the surface without importing the point to the project. For example, I will not import this point, but I just go to show where is the points on your directory or your computer. And the point group, you already imported the point on the software and you want to create surface based on them. Like our case now, we have imported the point and we want to create the surface based on the point. Press right click and press add, and then it choose the group. If you have multiple groups, so it choose the specific group. If you don't have, so all the point already imported on all points group. Okay, I want you concentrate here. What will happen after we will do that? Press OK. Look, now in seconds, the surface is created. So let's see what I mentioned is already happened. For example, the missing areas here, if you stand like that, now you have elevation. For another point here, if you move, you have elevation. So this is what the surface happen, or what the surface do is make a model for the earth and give you the elevation for any points you have in the inner parts based on the interpolation technique he used. Okay, this is how to create surface. Okay, we need to do some surface analysis. Okay, for example, edit the surface, view something, hide something, and so on. So if you select or choose the surface here, I just press on it, you will have a specific panels for the surface. Again, I will escape. Okay, this is a panels for Civil 3D, the normal one. If you press, look at the upper panels, all is already based on the surface. You want to change surface properties or edit surface style. Okay, so you can use it from here. Let's see. Edit surface properties, edit surface style. Let's change in the properties. Okay, or see what we can change. Okay, here is statistics, analysis for the surface, definition, what is the surface built, about the information, data operation. Look here, information about the name of the surface, description, and the contour. You can also change after you create. You can change already the contour and the background. Okay, you can change the properties of the surface from this part. Okay, but you can see here what the information about number of triangles created to, you will see 25,000 triangle created to create the surface, maximum triangle area, the area of the surface, and maximum triangle length, and so on. I will not change something here, but just to tell you about the properties. You can go in and know about the properties for surface. and also do some edit for the style also. What I want to tell you is about the change for editing, edit surface style. Okay, this is very important one. Okay, look at here. I want to make it anyone. Okay. Okay, sorry, I just close it. I want to, yes, to see, because I will open here again, edit surface style. Okay, I wanted to do some changes and reflect them on the surface. For example, here, what we have visible is border. What is the border? Is the green part. This is the boundary of the surface. Major contour and the minor contour. These the information we have. Okay, or visible. If I want to switch off this one and switch off this contour, okay, make apply and see. I already all contour I switch, but the surface itself is already existing. I didn't delete. I just make it invisible. Okay. So I want to show the triangles for the surface. You can highlight it and press apply. So this is the triangles used or created to create the surface. Okay. For example, you want to see some analysis for the surface. Look at graded. Okay. And apply. Here's the graded. Okay. Created also to make the surface. Okay. Switch it off. See, I want to see the direction for slope. Look, is give you the slope direction based on the different in elevation. Okay, let's see the elevation and see the analysis. Here's the elevation between the one. If I press OK here and just to go to see more, I apply it. Look, here is give you the elevation between the triangles here. If make analysis where the water is going or so, where is the highest or lowest area, you can do it like that. Okay. What else? Let's go again for edit surface style. Okay. Switch off elevation. I want to see slopes. You can see the slopes. What about slope arrows? You can see the arrows of the slope or the direction of the slope. You cannot see well here, but we can make zooming to see. Look. Okay, just skip here. Look. This is the direction of the slope. Okay. The color of the arrows is also indication on the elevation. Look, here is to right. Okay. Up and right side or east side and the north side and so on. So to know the direction of the flow or the slope direction. Here, for example, slope direction is to south east, but there is to east direction. Okay. Press again or select again and go to edit style surface. Okay. I want to know the watershed here, of the surface. Look, sorry, here. This is the watershed of the surface, where is the area, and also give you the data of the every watershed with ID, okay, and type of it, and the area of this watershed. Okay. What else we can do? I will do a very important thing. If you can see, okay, we can just return to or make this invisible, watershed invisible. What I want here is only border and triangle, and I will tell you something, okay? To create the surface, we should use the interpolation method. But if you can see, okay, here is we used interpolation and we have data, and the data is dense, so it will be give you reflect a real state. And this part also give you a real estate. But here, this part doesn't have any data. But the software is just to try to get from the nearest point. We need to delete this part because if we make analysis, it will take this data or this surface in consideration, and we don't know the elevation in this part. So it is better to delete them because it will be wrong indication. So how to delete them? You can, as you showing us the surface, and go to add data, to edit surface. You can add line if you want, line for the triangle, or delete line. Look here, if I make delete line, I choose this line, okay? Press enter, it will be delete, okay? If you want another line, okay, press this line, press that line, okay? Okay, if you choose any line here, it will be deleted. And you can see boundary is already going to be close to the real or the actual data. Okay, for example, here, okay, there also you can, okay, delete some. Sorry, you have to see what is the line. Okay, here, for example, I want to, okay, this is a correct one. Okay. So any line, for example, I delete this by mistake. I will delete it by mistake. Okay. So you can see what happened. I want to return this line again because there is 2 points close to each other. I want to return it. So how to make that? Okay, escape from the order, the command you have, and going again to edit style, but now you will add line. Okay, add line, going to this point and select the next point. Now the line returns back. Also, you can add a line for another points. For example, you see this part here, I want to add a line between these points and that point. Okay, for example, look, you have a new line here. Okay, and there is no intersection between lines, so if you intersect one, it will be remove the old one. For example, here, I want to make it with this line. Okay, look, again, to consider this point, I wanted to make it this point. So the intersected lines, it will gone. But here, give you error for the description and so. Look here, points. Error because it's two lines, it's too much, you're missing many data. So, okay, I accept that. But we are not doing like that. We are doing also to add lines, not remove the line already corrected line. Okay. Again, you want to delete more data. Sorry, here. More line. I want to delete this line. Okay, because the data is very far, or it's 2 points very far from each other. Here is the 2 points is very far from each other. So I want to delete this one. Okay, you see that automatically here you can remove it. Okay, that's to handle here. Also on this part you can remove these lines to make sure the surface, it will be based on a real data or a very dense data. Okay, here you can also remove these lines. So the surface, it will be represent a real data. For example, this will be here. This is very far. This point and another point. This point and a very far point. This area, you don't have any information about it, so it's better to remove that with the same method. Okay? So here is very informative about the analysis of the surface and visualization for different style displaying. Okay. Now I want to see the contours again. Okay. So this is triangles. I will press again and return to see the contour lines. Edit surface. Sorry. Edit surface style. Okay. And make I will triangle invisible and measure and minor contour, make them visible. Okay. Here we can see the contours. Okay. About the points, these contour lines, we can also here more information about the contours. Okay. What is the contour ranges and the contour interval used here. Okay. You can also change the contour interval, minor and major interval. Okay. If you wanted to change for something related to grade or triangles or watershed, you can change from here the specific style, for example, colors, information, and so on. Here, I wanted to change the contour, go to properties, and here the contour is 2 in minor contour and 10 in major contour. It's the background. I want to, for example, 5 to 25. Okay, and let's change and see what will happen. Apply. Okay, so some contour is already deleted because I changed the contour interval. I make it more dense, 1 meter as minor and 5 meter as major. Apply, it will be dense contour. Okay, so for the first part, let's see the time because we don't need make it very long. Okay, for this part, I can stop here and let's see more analysis about the contour and how to calculate the elevation. Okay, let's just stop at this part. I want to save my project. Okay, and then I will skip. For example, I didn't save, you have to save your project. For example, here, save, and see the directory for your project. For example, I put in the desktop, okay, I save it here. Okay, that's all for the first session, and let's go to the second session later to continue what we did in the first session. Okay, thank you.